What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 18 of my Detroit Tigers Out of the Park series. Last episode, we were in the playoffs. We beat the Yankees 3-2, and then we moved on to the next round where we lost to the Seattle Mariners 4-1 in that series. But however, it's a nice step for us. We finally won a playoff series. It's a nice step, and I'm ready to go and build in this offseason for the future, for next season. Our team is definitely good enough to compete. We just need to make a few moves here and there. And as you can see, everything on the screen right now, there's a lot of stuff to do. I've already went ahead and started some other things in the process that I'll get to later. First, let's take a look at all of the messages we have. Ken Giles voids the last year of his contract. He was very, very good. He was a nice setup guy for us this year. He pitched really well in the playoffs as well. I don't know if we're going to be able to afford to bring him back. We're going to try to. But unfortunately, he's asking for around $10 million, I think, a year. And that's just a little bit too much for us at this point. Next, we'll go over the reviewing of the season goals. We really didn't do any of them right. I'm pretty sure he says we did bad at all of these. But he's still happy with us, which I'm fine with. He has some new goals down here. Reach the playoffs, sign Luis Castillo, acquire a team leader, increase attendance, bring in a manager of better reputation, which we're not going to do. I love our manager right now. And then he also wants bring more of your drafted players to the team, which is a goal that's been going on. And then also reach the World Series in the next 7 years, which is also a goal that's been going on. So a lot of achievable goals for sure. But hopefully we can get them all done. Obviously our goal is definitely to win the World Series. Next, one thing that will help us get to that goal is we actually have an increase in budget. I'm almost positive this is a lot of money that we've increased because we actually have a positive contract extension amount now instead of a negative like $10 million. It's now at 140 team payroll, which I'm super excited about because we just need to be able to keep this team together. That's really all I need from our owner is just to give me enough money to keep this team together. Next, we have a few players retiring in the minor leagues. Not really anything I care about there. Next, we have the end of the season prospect list. We are still only having a few guys in there. We're 12th. We have Tamar Johnson and Zion Rose, obviously. But we actually have Raymond Gonzalez on here now. He's 37th ranked. He's going to be a decent starting pitching prospect at least. I think he's going to be a good major league pitcher in maybe 2 years, I'd give him. He looks pretty decent. He doesn't have great stuff, but everything else is good. Hopefully he can keep the development going, unlike a lot of our other top prospects have in the past. Obviously, the offseason began. The arbitration has begun as well. We'll get to that in a second. I'll go over who got fired. So the Miami Diamond Dogs changed ownership. Chicago's GM, I believe. Yeah, the White Sox GM got fired. The Texas Rangers GM got fired. Miami's GM got fired. And then Philly's GM gets fired as well. And then finally, some huge news right here. There's going to be an expansion in the league, which I am super excited about. I've never actually done an expansion in out of the park baseball, so I'm really excited to see how that goes. Hopefully we get some good new teams and some good new competition for us to play. Let's go look at salary arbitration now. We have a lot of guys and a lot of money here that could go all different types of ways. We have Domingo Germán, who we're going to withdraw. We don't want him back. I think everyone else here, though, we want to try and bring back. Hopefully we can do a little bit less for a lot of these guys. Like, I want to do $1 million for basically anybody that's above a certain level. So, like, Tukey here, I'm fine with giving them that much, but I'm just going to try and get it as low as I can on a lot of these guys. Trevor Rogers, I really want to bring back. He's really, really good. So, even if it's 9, whatever he wanted, I'm fine with that. Aaron Fletcher, that amount is perfect. Brian Garcia, Alex Lang, those amounts are perfect. Munoz, I prefer it to be a little bit less. He's really, really good, but that's a lot of money. Same with Joey Bart here. Hopefully we can get it down to 6.5. Joe Adele, same thing, 6.5. I'm fine with Derek Hill at that price for a backup center fielder. And then Cespedes, we can try and get a mill for him, but I don't know if that's going to work out. And then obviously we're losing Ken Giles, and then we lose a lot of guys in the minors. I've already looked through them. They're not anybody important to me. None of these guys I even honestly have heard of at this point. So I'm fine with that. Next, I wanted to go over a few trade ideas and also trades I've already tried making. So let's get right into that. All right, here's the first trade I wanted to go over. It's a Ronald Acuna trade. It's sort of in the works. It's sort of not. I'm not sure if it's even possible. Right now, it's looking like Joe Adell, Brandon Woodruff, Zion Rose, and Javier Baez, and the addition of Joey Gallo allows us to submit the offer for just Ronald Acuna Jr. It's not even a sure thing that we can complete the deal. I'm sure it's not even able to happen, honestly, and we're giving up a whole lot to do it. Joey Gallo and Javi Baez, they're definitely expandable for me. Joe Adell, we'd be upgrading to Ronald Acuna, so that's fine. And then really the only guys we're giving up are Brandon Woodruff and Zion Rose, in my opinion. So it's a decent deal. It's not really one I see us doing, though, even though I would love Ronald Acuna. I just don't think it's a deal that we can do. The deal I really think we're going to end up doing, which I won't pull the trigger now, is this deal right here. It's Joey Gallo and Riley Stanford, who's a prospect from a few drafts ago. He's not going to turn into anything great. He has decent gap power. He might have decent home run power, decent contact, decent eye, but it's nothing very highly above average. So I'd be fine with getting rid of him in this deal in order to get Sixto Sanchez, who is really, really good. He had a Cy Young year this year. If he was on a winning team, if he was on our team, honestly, this year, he might have been the Cy Young, 2.68 ERA. He had 15 wins despite being on a very bad team. Really good FIP here. I like that. He's a good guy. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. He strikes out a decent bit. I really like him. I think we're going to pull the trigger on this in a few days. I want to see how this expansion draft goes and all that. So let's get into that real fast. We have our expansion teams now. It's going to be the Las Vegas Scorpions and the Charlotte Flyers. Those are our two expansion teams. I'll go over our protected list. It wasn't really that hard to put together. I had a few extra spaces at the end that I didn't really care about. So we protected Ken Giles, and we also protected Zach Short, who I didn't really care about. Ken Giles is going to leave in the offseason, but I just wanted him to be a free agent and not get drafted by one of these teams that would then have first dibs on him, I guess. And then Zach Short, I would have been fine if someone picked him up, but we had the room, so I protected him. Same with Austin Hedges. I really like him as a backup catcher. He's cheap. He's really good defensively. He's not. I wouldn't have been mad if someone drafted him, but we had the space, so I protected him as well. Everybody that's worth anything got protected. I am not going to care at all if anybody gets drafted from our list here that's not protected. So I'm happy with that. All right, here we are on November 24th. We have a lot of updates. First, let's go over a few award winners. We have the Gold Glove winners in the American League. As you can see, none of our guys won it. Evan White did win it, though, on the Boston Red Sox, which is no surprise. Great defensive first baseman. Here's the NL winners. Next, we have the AL Reliever of the Year. Unfortunately, we lose out barely. The Chicago White Sox reliever wins first place in a landslide, pretty much. Then Ken Giles and Alex Lang both come second and third, which I'm happy with. No one else from our team is in the top 7 here, but I'm happy with that. That's really good news. Here's the NL top relievers here. Next, we have the Platinum Stick Award. I believe Trey Turner is the only player on our team to win it. He wins it as a shortstop after he hit 333, 386 on base, 21 home runs, 38 stolen bases is huge too, with a 5.6 WAR. He was really good this year on the offensive side of the ball. He definitely deserves that. Here's the National League Platinum Stick winners right here. You can take a look at that. Next, we have our American League Rookie of the Year. None of our guys were on here, but here's the winner right here. Same with the National League. Here's the winners. Next, we have the AL Manager. Unfortunately, we did not win it. I believe if we just had a little bit of a better end of the season, our guy would have won it, but unfortunately, the Astros Manager wins it. And then we have the Los Angeles Dodgers Manager winning it here, obviously. Next, we have Cy Young. We do actually have someone placed. Trevor Rogers gets 5th, I believe. And then that is it from our team. I think we probably could have had someone else there, honestly. He pitched really good, though. He had us in a lot of games, which is what I like to see from our top guy. So I'm happy with that. He didn't deserve to win it, but I'm glad he placed. Here's the National League Cy Young Award winners here. And as you can see, Sixto Sanchez here in third place, I believe. Or second place. He was really good, and I really, really want him. And actually, if you look up here, little spoiler, we actually traded for Sixto Sanchez. But let's look at the Most Valuable Player award real fast. I believe we had two players on here. We had Trey Turner, who got one first place vote actually. Javier Baez got a lot of votes, but none of them in first place. And to my surprise, Miguel Sano somehow got a point. I didn't vote, so I'm not sure who actually gave him a point in the MVP race. He wasn't really that good, so I don't know why he got any sort of vote at all. But that's good to see. We had three guys in this top, however many players this is. And then here's the National League winner in the National League voting. As you can see, Willie Castro's here with 4 points as well. We got rid of him very early on in the season. So that's good that at least he's doing good with his new team. But let's get right into what I spoiled a little bit. We made our first trade of the offseason. We traded for Sixto Sanchez. Now the price went up a little bit. I guess I shouldn't have waited, but it's honestly not a big deal for me. We ended up giving up Joey Gallo and Touki Toussaint as the main guys. And we also gave up Riley Stanford, Andrew Washington, and Caleb Bolden. Now, let's get into the prospects first. Andrew Washington's the biggest one for me. 1.5 star overall, 2.5 potential. He's going to be decent. He's not going to be anything great ever. He's 23, pretty much 24 at this point. I don't ever see him being anything good. He pitched good in A-plus ball, but then he came up to AA, and he's not pitching great. I don't really see too much in his future, so I was fine with getting rid of him. Riley Stanford here, he wasn't ever going to be anything good either. He's just not anything special to me. I'm not worried about getting rid of him. Same with Caleb Bolden. There's just nothing special about him. I'm fine with getting rid of him. He's already 26 basically, so I don't see a future with him. But the guys we give up, Joey Gallo, Touki Toussaint. Touki is probably the hardest one to get rid of, but I had to get rid of someone of some sort of value in order to get them to accept it. And I justified it because it's an upgrade from Touki to Sixto, and we're basically just throwing in Joey Gallo to get that upgrade, which is what I'm fine with. So that's why I was fine doing this deal. I think Sixto is going to be amazing for us as long as he can stay healthy. That's the only issue with him, is I just need him to stay healthy, and I think he'll be really, really good for us. Now, I wanted to go over why we made this deal. We tried getting Ronald Acuna. Nothing worked. We did everything we could outside of maybe trying to trade our star players, which is not what I was going to do. We offered Baez. We would pay for all of the money that we are able to left. Joe Adele, pay for all of that. Joey Gallo, he's obviously free. We would retain 80% of Woodruff's contract, which is all I could afford, and give them Zion Rose, and give them $8 million in cash. And they still said no. We didn't have anything else to offer, so that's why I did the trade for Sixto, because we just couldn't do the Acuna trade. Next, I went ahead and I have a problem, sort of, with giving players contract extensions too early, but I just like knowing that I have them locked up, and I know the price that they're going to get paid the next few years. I don't like arbitration because you don't know what you're going to pay them. So I went ahead and I actually offered an extension to Torkelson, and he accepted it. We can take a look at it. It's a really, really team-friendly deal. In 2025, he's going to make $850,000, which is this year. That's the most I could offer him. So then the next 2 years that are guaranteed, he's making $2 million each year, which is a steal. If he hits how he did, that's a steal. He can hit home runs with the best of them, in my opinion. I think he can get on base at a decent rate. Hopefully his fielding can also be a positive for him. And then in 2028 and 2029, the fourth and fifth years of the deal, there are team options for $4 million and $5 million. So if I feel like that's what his value is, I can opt in. If it's not, then I can opt out. So really, it's a 3-year deal for like $5 million at this moment, which is amazing for us. And there's also incentives in this deal. Let's see, it's if he gets 500 plate appearances, he gets an extra $1 million a year. So really, all of these can go up. But it's not that big of a deal if he does, And then the All-Star bonus is another $1 million, so he has an incentive there to perform, and an incentive to be at the plate and be healthy, I guess. I like it. It's a good deal for us. The buyout isn't even that bad for when we have the team option, so I really like this deal for him. It's very, very team-friendly, which is what I'm a big fan of. Next, we have a very controversial one. I'm not sure if this is actually a good idea to do, but we extended Tamar Johnson, which is super, super questionable. We'll take a look at it, though. I did an 8-year deal, $4 million this year, then $5 million for the next 4, and then we have a player opt-out, and then $10 million, $10 million, and then a team option for $10 million. So really, it's a 5-year deal right now, worth roughly $25 million, which is kind of a lot. But if he pans out, it's a steal. And we have him for the next 5 years, and I think if he develops even in 2 years from now, $5 million is a great steal. And then I had to include the player opt-out here. And he might opt in because it's a $10 million contract, so if he's just slightly above average, he might accept it. If he doesn't, whatever. I'm fine with it. I like this deal. I really hope he is the shortstop of the future for us because he's really good. He still has potential. He's already really good. He performed well in the 16 games he played for us. He hit .321. Obviously, it's 16 games, but I like him. Good defense, good speed, decent bat. I really like him. I hope he can develop into something great for us. I showed in him that I believe in him, so hopefully that translates to on-the-field success. Now the next thing we're going to get into is probably the expansion draft. I think that's what's coming up next. We have salary arbitration hearings, and then we have the expansion draft. So I'll see you guys then. Alright, here we are. We have our arbitration hearing results. They did not go good at all. As you can see, Alex Lang wins it, and now we're going to have to pay him 1.5. Trevor Rogers wins his. We have to pay him 10.6 now. Joey Bart wins his, and we have to pay him 9.3. Joe Adell wins his, and we have to pay him 9.2. Aaron Fletcher, we win. Finally, Cespedes, we win. Derek Hill, I believe we won. Yes, we won. Munoz won his, though, so now we have to pay him $7.4 million. Brian Garcia won his, so now it's 2.2, which isn't bad, but obviously we'd prefer it to be what we wanted. And then LeJay wins his for 1.6, which also isn't bad. Overall, it's not good, but it's also not bad. At least we keep everybody. That's all that really matters. But obviously, I'd rather not pay a lot of these guys the high amount of money that we have to pay them. Trevor Rogers, Joey Bart, Joe Adell, and Munoz are all very, very high numbers. I don't know if it's going to be possible to keep all these guys this year. I don't really want to be that much in debt for our players. I believe it's like -17 now that we have extra this year, which is not good at all. I don't even know how we would even trade someone to compensate for that. But we'll see what happens. But going off of that, I really don't know how this is possible. But here on the international free agents, there's a lot of guys here. Not a lot of them are that great. Like, I'll show you a few right here. But then I got to Eddie Vasquez, who looks incredible. I don't know if he's actually going to translate to the major league level. His movement and control aren't great, but he has really good pitches here. Good stuff. Good speed. He's a power pitcher. I like his personality traits here. He even has decent stamina, so he could be... I'd prefer him in the bullpen, but he could be a long relief guy for us, or even an emergency starter if you really needed him to be, but I'd rather him not. We went ahead and we offered him a contract. I believe it was 5 years, $30 million. It was 3.7 that first year, and then 6.5 after that, I believe, for the next 4 years. I think he could be a really good pitcher for us. I don't know how in the world we have the money to offer him anything, but we offered him that. And then let's take a look at the free agents that are going to be in this class. Not a lot of good guys here. The highlight is Walker Buehler, Francisco Mejia here. He's also good. Everyone else, 3-star, 2.5-star overall. Pretty old. I don't see any of these guys even getting a chance to try and make our team. If Walker Buehler's there for cheap, obviously I'll push for him, but I really doubt he's going to be there. So that's what it's looking like. Next time I see you guys is the results of the expansion draft. Alright, so we have the results of the expansion draft, and I don't understand what these teams were doing. I was taking a look at the draft pool, and you easily could have drafted the best bullpen in all of baseball. It might have been better than our bullpen, and you could have started with that, but instead they did the complete opposite. There was legitimate star closers there, and they didn't draft them. I'm guessing because they were a little older, maybe they had too much money. I don't know, but they were really, really good bullpen arms there, and none of them got drafted. We'll take a look at who did get drafted. We'll take a look at the Charlotte Flyers first. We'll take a look at their players. They did get Andrew Kinsner, who actually looks pretty decent. He played for St. Louis last year. He played in 81 games. He hit .298 with 10 home runs. He hit .353 on base, too, which is pretty good. They also get Randy Rosarena. And here's the rest of the roster. No one really stands out to me as anything too great. Like I said, they could have had an elite bullpen, but they decided not to. Let's go take a look at how the other expansion team drafted, the Las Vegas Scorpions. In my opinion, they drafted way worse. Way worse. They don't even have any guy that I'd really look forward to having on my team. Maybe this guy right here, he's 24, has some potential. But even him, I don't see being that great. I don't like how this team drafted either. I feel like they could have done a lot better, and they really just didn't do anything good. I'm guessing they drafted because of salary, really, because nobody here is making more than $2 million. But we'll see, I guess, how they do. I don't understand what they were doing, but that's the draft right there. That's the expansion draft. Our first expansion teams in this series. Now we're just finishing the offseason like normal. I think we have one or two trades left. I don't see any free agents getting signed except for the one guy I told you guys I offered a contract to. And even he might not accept. So I guess I'll see you guys next time something's happening. Alright, so nothing's happened yet, but one thing I just realized that is amazing news. Let's take a look right here. Budget for extensions, $20 million. So apparently our new budget didn't kick in whenever I was looking at it the last time when it said it was a negative something. So now with the new budget that was increased a lot by our owner, we have $20 million for extensions now. And this is even with all the arbitration salaries all up to date and everything. I don't think I'm going to use this to go out and sign a free agent, though. I think I'd rather just lock everyone up that we have now. I really am going to try my best with Munoz. I already have a contract lined up. We'll actually go ahead and submit it first. It's an $8 million a year for 5-year deal with a $1 million bonus for all-star selection, so it goes up to 9. And initially, he wanted 4 years, 12.5, so I brought it down and I included the bonus. And he's ready for me to submit it now, so hopefully this is good enough. His arbitration was 7.4, I believe. It says it somewhere on here, but that's pretty close to what his arbitration was. I think he's only going to get better. He is really a really good bullpen arm, only 25. I think he's worth this, and he's out of arbitration years after this, so submitting it is what I'm going to do, and that's what we're going to have to deal with a lot of these guys that are expiring. We're just going to have to offer them what they want. So we have guys like Brian Garcia and Luis Castillo here that are going to want a lot of money probably, and we're just going to have to give them something. We're going to have to compromise here and there. Maybe a few of these guys that have arbitration years left will have to give them something that hopefully will be less than what their arbitration is expected to be. Alright, so here's the deal I came up with for Brian Garcia. It's a 3-year deal worth $6 million a year with a player option for that 3rd year, and also a bonus for all-star selection at $1 million. I'm going to do that with a lot of our guys because it allows for more incentive-based financial gain for them and less guaranteed money that I have to pay them, which I feel more comfortable with. He wanted around, I think he wanted 8.5 or maybe 9 a year. We got it down to 6, so I'm happy with that. It's only 3 years. He's 29 already, so he's going to be 32, I believe, whenever this contract expires. Maybe 31 if he decides to opt out, which could be an option. It's not that much money. I'm going to go ahead and submit that. Alright, so I've decided we're not going to offer Castillo an extension at this time. He wants roughly the same amount that he's making right now, 18.4. I just don't think it's worth it. He's 31. He got injured last year for a little bit. He just really hasn't played enough games for me to justify a big contract. He's only pitched 12 games in 2023 and then 19 in 2024. I just can't justify that much money for someone who might not be here. If he plays good this year and he's healthy, then we can talk at the maybe around somewhere in the season or maybe in the off season. But for now, we're just going to stick with offering Munoz and Brian Garcia extensions. Javi Baez is going to get traded, so that's why I'm not talking about him getting an extension. And then Austin Hedges, I just don't think he's going to be back this season. He's old. He's getting worse. Still has good defense, which is what I like in that backup catching position. But once he's gone and his contract's up, then we're just going to find someone else to replace him. I don't think we're going to offer any of the guys with arbitration years coming up any money. I just don't think any of them are really worth it, especially Blake Workman here, he's going to be 32, I think, whenever this last year of arbitration is here. So I'm fine with just living that out. Same with Derek Hill. Aaron Fletcher maybe, but he's nothing great. He's definitely he's not the worst bullpen in the arm, but he's the player I would be most likely to get rid of if I had to get rid of someone in that bullpen. So I'm not going to sit here and offer him a contract and lock him up. There's no one else here I really think is worth it except maybe Trevor Rogers, but that would just be to keep it at this $10 million mark instead of the potential of it being even more next year. And then also have to extending a contract if it is more, then that means he's better and he's going to want more. That's the only guy I would consider, but for now we're just going to stick with this. We also only have $6 million now in our budget for extensions. So hopefully we can just keep this team around for a while. That's the goal. That's what I'm really happy with, is that we have a good team. So next time that I'm going to come back is probably the Javi Baez trade. I'm going to try working on that next. Or if we hear back from that free agent relief arm. All right, we have the results from our contract extensions. We go ahead and we extend Munoz and Brian Garcia here. Here's what their contract's looking like. Munoz is now signed up for the next 6 seasons, and Brian Garcia is signed up for the next 4 with a player option in that 4th year. These are good deals in my opinion. Hopefully they pan out, especially this Munoz one, which is kind of a large contract for a reliever. But I'm fine with it. I really like him. I'm really confused with our budget for extensions, though. It's been all over the place, but I think I understand what happened. So we went ahead and extended them, so that brought it down from, I think it was roughly like $24 million. I went ahead and I withdrew the contract offer for that one relief pitcher in free agency, and instead I used that money to boost up our development budget because it was really, really low. And I think it's hurting a lot of our younger guys and also some of our middle-aged guys that are just needing that little bit of a boost. We just weren't putting any money into development. So I decided to bump it up to 15 now, which hopefully should help a lot of our younger guys. I'm still looking to get some cash because we currently have none. That's probably what I'm going to try and get with the Javier Baez trade. I had one trade sort of worked out. I believe it was with the Dodgers. I'm not sure if it's still going to pop up. So this is the trade I had worked out. There's no cash involved, which is sort of an issue. They don't have any cash. But it's Javier Baez. The main guy I want is Melvin Jimenez here. He's another really, really good reliever, which is not really what I want from a Javier Baez trade. We'll take a look at his stats real fast, Javier Baez. He was a beast. 316 average, 351 on base, OPS plus at 134, a WAR of 3.1, which is sort of low. You would think it'd be a little bit higher than that. But I guess he didn't play too many games for us. Wait, actually, now that I realize it, that's from with just us. So he had really like a 6.5 for the year, which is really, really good. That makes more sense. He hit good for both Boston and for us. Good on base for both of us. A total of, I believe that's 30 home runs on the year. 99 RBIs, I believe, as well. Really, really good. That strikeout percentage is still kind of high, but as long as he's putting up other numbers like that, he's really good. I feel like we should be able to get more, though, than just a really good relief pitcher. And he's not even proven at this point. Last year he played in 22 games and he had a 6.56 ERA. His FIP, though, was good. Good FIP minus. I think he has potential to be a really, really good relief arm. Not only does his overall rating right here look good, but he has good pitches, good stuff, good movement, average control, which I think is you can work with it. He throws sort of hard. He's a power pitcher, extreme ground ball, which is what I like. I'd be really happy to get him. I just want to try and find a better package. We also would be getting this guy who's just a starting pitching depth guy. He has good pitches, good stuff, decent control, not good movement. But he would just be depth at that point. We don't really have anybody that I like. So he would just be depth if we did make this trade. But I'm going to try and find something else. So I'll see you guys. I guess the last thing that we have to do is make the Javier Baez trade in the offseason. So I'll see you guys when that is complete. Alright, here is the deal we have for Javier Baez. We're going to be giving up Javier Baez and $3 million in cash for Bobby Miller, a starting pitcher from the Los Angeles Dodgers. He is sort of an interesting player. I'm not sure if I love him or if I think he's going to be average. But if we take a look at the stats real fast, we'll just look at the major league stats. A lot of them are in relief. But right here in 2022, he had a 3.88 ERA, 3.69 FIP for both a good ERA plus and a good FIP minus. He has a good strikeouts per 9. Walks per 9 weren't great here, but it gets better. That's obviously all in relief, so it's not exactly what I want him for. I want him to be a starter for us. But let's take a look at 2023 once again as a relief guy. He had 2.94 ERA, 3.20 FIP, good ERA plus, good FIP minus. I like that. Good strikeouts to innings pitched. The walks got a little bit better per 9 there, and the strikeouts got better as well. Then we go to 2024 where he made 8 starts for the Dodgers. He had a 2.09 ERA, FIP at 2.69, and his strikeouts per 9 did get a little bit worse, but his walks per 9 got way better. That is a perfect stat line from him. We can go ahead and look at his pitching splits for just as a starter. We can actually we can scope it down to just the major league level. As a starter in the majors, he had a 2.48 ERA, 175 ERA plus, 3.17 FIP, and a 73 FIP minus. Obviously, not a huge sample size, but he looks like he could be really, really good for us. He's just been good in relief. He's been good in his few starts that he's had. I think he could be something really, really special for us. Hopefully he can keep it up. He's still young. He's 25. I think he's just about to start his arbitration eligibility, so that's good. He has good pitches, average movement, average control, slightly above average stuff there. He throws hard. He's a power pitcher, neutral pitcher as well. I like a lot of the things he has. It's not necessarily what I expected when I was going to trade away Javier Baez, but I think it's the best trade we can get. There was nobody else better. No one else really wanted to give up anything for him. The Dodgers are the only people that really wanted him, that were willing to give up something good, actually. And I decided to go with Bobby Miller over Melvin Jimenez here, who looks really good, but unfortunately we need the starting pitching more than we need the bullpen. So this is the trade I'm going to go with. We're going to go ahead and complete it. We do give up the cash there. The fans are upset that Javi Baez got traded, but they're also pleased by the signing of Bobby Miller, so I'm happy with that. Next, we'll go into look at some of the signings that have happened. Francisco Mejia unfortunately signs with the Twins, our division rival, for $18 million a year for 7 years. That's a pretty big contract for them. He's a good player, though. Will it bite them in the butt since he's 29, so he's kind of getting in the higher age of his career. He's going to be 36 when it expires. Maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. That's their problem. Next, we have Patrick Corbin signing a $14 million a year deal for 3 years with the Mets. It's not a bad deal. He is pretty old. He's 35, so will it work out? Maybe. We'll see. Once again, that's their problem, not ours. Matt Boyd goes out and signs a $55 million contract for 5 years. Pretty good money for him. Goes with the Giants. Nothing really too special there. And then the guy that I wanted, Eddie Vasquez, signs with the Tampa Bay Rays for $18 million over 3 years. So we easily probably could have signed him. We probably would have been the guy that got him. But I just didn't want to spend money on him. We could have used him more wisely in other places. And it's not a need. It's just it's an extra thing we could have had to make our bullpen even better. It's already elite. We don't need him. Hopefully that those words don't bite me in the butt, but I'm happy with what we have right now. I like this deal that we made. Now we do have a surplus, though, in the starting pitching, which is what I wanted, because Lejay Newsome, he was great for us 1 year, and then he fell off. So hopefully he can just be that sixth guy that makes some starts here and there. He can go to AAA, maybe bounce back a little bit. But for right now, it's going to be The new guy we just got, Bobby Miller, he's going to step in to this rotation, and we're going to send down LeJay Newsome. We're just going to send him down now, and then we're going to have the new rotation's going to look like this. We have Trevor Rogers, Sixto Sanchez, Brandon Woodruff, Luis Castillo, and Bobby Miller to round out the starting rotation. It is a really good rotation now, matched with a really good bullpen. The lineup's starting to form itself here. We'll go ahead and have the manager rework that. Now we have Tamar Johnson leading off, Riley Green batting second, Trey Turner third, Miguel Sano fourth, then Joe Adell, Spencer Torkelson, Austin Riley, Joey Bart, and Cespedes batting last, playing right field actually, and then Torkelson's at DH. So hopefully somewhere during the season we have Torkelson actually play the field, but I know Cespedes is a really, really good fielder, so I'm not going to complain that much. I would just prefer Torkelson to get more time in the outfield than he has in the past, but for now, I'm fine with that. I like our team a lot. We are lacking in depth a little bit. In the minors, we have a few outfielders that I like. Beyond that, though, there's no one I really like that's ready to come up to the major leagues, so depth could be an issue for us on the offensive side of the ball. Starting pitching, I think we're fine with depth. Bullpen, we're not necessarily super great, but we have at least one guy, maybe two guys that we can call up if someone gets injured. So I like our team a lot. I think that's going to be it for all the moves we're going to make. We do have the Rule 5 draft coming up, but I doubt there's going to be anybody there that's worthy of a spot on our roster. I'll just probably skip ahead to that. I don't see us making any more moves, so I'll see you guys at the Rule 5 draft. All right, we advanced to the Rule 5 draft. We decided not to draft anybody. There wasn't anybody good enough to keep on the roster for the entire season. There was a few guys I liked, but we just aren't in the situation to have guys that we have to keep on the roster. But I really like our team regardless. I don't think there's any moves I think we need to make. We're a really good team. We'll go over our staff real fast. We have Trevor Rogers, Sixto Sanchez, Woodruff, Castillo, and Bobby Miller. That's going to round out our rotation. Our bullpen is much of the same. Josh Hader, Munoz, Lang, Garcia, Martinez, Correal, Workman, and Fletcher. Very, very good pitching. I think that's going to be probably our best part of our team next year. I don't see it being bad. If it's bad, then I'm really going to hate saying that, but I don't think it's going to be bad. I think it's good on paper at least. Offense is where we will probably struggle. We'll have a lot of power. A lot of our guys can hit 30-plus home runs. We have Torkelson hit 38. We have Joe Adell here who hit 28. I think he can easily get 30. Riley Green can definitely get 30. He hit 26 last year. Austin Riley, he hit 30. I think he can do better than that. Trey Turner, I'm sure, can even hit 30. Even though he doesn't necessarily have that great of power, he can definitely hit 30. He's our MVP. Sano easily could hit 30. He could hit 30 for someone else. He has that much power. And then Joey Bart, he hit 24. I think he could reach 30 as well. Basically, everyone in our starting lineup can get 30 home runs except for Tamar Johnson, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure even Cespedes can because he hit 28 back in 2023. I think we have a really, really good team. Average-wise, we're never going to hit for average, really. A few of our guys might. Tamar might. Trey Turner definitely should at least. And then everyone else, I think, is really just here for getting on base, hitting home runs. I really expect a lot from Riley Green next year, so I'm hoping he does good. That's going to do it, though, for this episode. This was our off-season episode. Next episode, we'll try and get a lot of the season done. Hopefully we can get through most of it if everything goes smoothly. Then I'm super excited for the next playoff episode because that one hopefully will be us going to the World Series for the first time in this series, and I'm super excited about that. Make sure to leave a comment, the few of you guys that watch these videos, because I really want to make it as entertaining as possible for you guys. So just leave comments below about what you guys want to see when it comes to the playoffs, whether you guys want to see gameplay, whether you like how it worked in the last episode I did where we just recapped every single one. Just let me know what you guys want to see. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and thank you guys for watching.